then the next week, and she said, he asked for a bite. And then the following week, he was on the plan with her because the food again, and I say plan, but it's really, again, the foods.
It's a food plan.
It's the food plan, but it's based again on foods that actually taste really good, that are satisfying. So it's interesting because again, I think that yes, the men are so resistant. It's like to get them to come to a meeting with me is like, all right, honey, I'll do this for you, but then they get really engaged. And so they do end up eating a lot of the same things, but men just have larger portions usually.
Okay.
So it's kind of the same food plan if they like the same foods, but we just look at, say, okay, how much energy are you expending in a day? And if the man is expending a little more and knowing that he burns more, then we'll probably give him a larger portion.
Sure. I'm eating more than Hugo right now since I've been dating. I've been dating your dad. Since Deb and I have been dating.
Oh, don't let the secret out.
Since I've been working with Deb, because again, just like rewiring my brain for exercise, she's rewired my brain about what eating means.
Yeah.
And even
what does that mean to you? Like, what do you now think eating means?
Well, it's for the energy. It's okay. Do I want my body to look kick-ass? Yes, I do.
Amen.
But do I want to feel good?
Double amen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason I joined the gym, even before I reached out to having a personal trainer, was for mental health.
Yep.
And now I'm following the suggestions that Deb has provided, and I feel so much better. And I just feel more confident.
I love it.
And I am more energized, and I'm not hungry throughout the day. I'm not depriving myself at all.
Let me tell you,
I can't even believe it.
It's awesome because that is really the biggest thing. And I went through all of this myself. So I never thought that I could sit down at night after I ate a dinner and not gorge myself. I still eat after dinner sometimes, but it's not like the ravenous, crazy, I gotta have all the carbs and starches. It's more about, I feel satisfied. Maybe I want something else. You're just not as hungry. But I think also, again, it's satisfying the body. I kind of look and I go, okay, well, what does your body actually need in order for it to lose body fat or gain muscle mass? And I'm also curious, do you feel differently with mental health?
Yes. I do. Well, and part of that is knowing I'm following a plan.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Part of the mental health for me is knowing that that someone I trust has laid out a plan, and she has said, trust me, if you do this, you will benefit from this. And so I keep going back to that. That keeps coming up for me because that is a really hard thing for me to do. And so, yes, I do feel the mental health part of it is huge for me. I also have really severe ADHD, and there's some depression that shows up.
Sure.
And being off sugar is key, but I'm a chronic relapser, and I have not since I've been working with you, because again, I don't want to waste my time.
Right.
So that helps me, so yes. Yes,
awesome.
Yes,
that's
and
awesome.
yes.
And do you crave sugar at this point?
No.
What? No. See, and that's, whoever would think, right? We are a society that wants sugar all the time. That's what, all of these new sugars come out. I'm like, it's sugar.
Yeah.
But, we all want to eat sugar, and none of us believe that we could actually live in a day or a week or a month where we're satisfied and we're not craving that sugar.
No.
Yeah.
Your psychology degree, did you work in the field at all?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, I feel like I work in it every day.
Well, now, sure. And I was going to get to that.
Right,
yeah,
right.
but did you work it? Were you?
No, I literally was working in the restaurant industry for about 10 years before I became a trainer. And I didn't become a trainer until I was in my 30s because I went back to school later in life.
Okay.
And my degree was psychology and nutrition together.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that your training with psychology comes into play today with the work with the nutrition training and the physical training.
It does, but what's really interesting is actually it's just my own discovery of my own behaviors, and I love human behavior. So again, to me, it's figuring all that stuff out. So I don't know if my psychology degree, I don't even remember school, to be honest with you. So I have to say I'm not dogging school.
Well, maybe and I don't know if you know, but my husband Michael is intuitive. So he does reading.
Very clairvoyant.
He's clairvoyant. So, perhaps, and that's something that you can talk with Michael about, but perhaps it's your intuition.
It's so funny because I was jumping rope outside in the sun, and I was thinking about this interview, and it's ironic and wonderful because I literally was thinking, like, why do I love this so much, and why do I get such satisfaction, and why is it just part of me? And literally the word intuition came up, and I thought, it's in me, and because I've experienced so much of this, I feel it.
Oh,
So
man.
it is. I'm getting goosebumps.
I am
again.
too.
Yeah, but when you can relate to your clients and you've experienced what they've experienced, it takes the shame.
Oh.
They're not being judged. And I think this is so true for so many people. It's what happens when I read people, and you both mentioned it earlier, that there's no judgment.
Right.
I've been every single person that I sit with, and I'm sure every person you've trained, whether the similarities are minute or spot on, it's just, you get it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that person, when the person's in that energy of not being judged, that I can expose my vulnerability,
Right.
then that's where the healing takes place.
It's so true. It's so
Yeah.
true. And I also kind of feel like, we all manifest our stuff, right? Our shame or our guilt or our
Yeah.
sadness, our anger.
Yeah.
We manifest it somehow out in the world. And so I do believe when I meet with my clients, again, when they're just defeated from dieting all the time and never kind of getting what they want, that those of us that have manifested our stuff, issues, whatever you want to call them, within our body, just need to kind of be aware of it and just need to start kind of opening up that conversation. And when that happens, again, goosebumps.
Yeah.
My most skeptical client ever, she just turned 61. And I didn't even know if I could work with her because she was so skeptical. It'll never happen. It's never happened. It'll never. She just lost her 47 pounds. And again, I don't go by
Wow.
numbers,
No.
but just to show you.
It's a point of reference.
Oh, it's beautiful. It is. And
Wow.
we talk all the time
Wow.
very deeply, and she
Wow.
never has. So
Wow.
it is exactly what you said. It's just,
You're holding space for somebody.
yes,
Who perhaps
yes.
nobody's ever held space for them before. So
Oh, God, you just nailed it, yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
And I have another question.
Please.
I love that you've got a psychology background, and working in a restaurant trumps your psychology degree.
Thank you.
So,
Michael,
It's so true.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So, body dysmorphia.
Yes.
And
we just
so-
referenced it together.
Yeah.
Please.
So, first, is that even part of your job description? And two, if it is something that you obviously you can notice it, how do you help somebody with that? And you can clearly see
yeah.
they look fantastic.
Yep.
But for most of us, we don't see ourselves the way other people see us.
Right.
We truly don't see how beautiful we are,
Right.
as other people can see the beauty in us. So
Yeah. Well, I'll have to tell you, I'll just say it from my own experience because I know that I also have suffered from that. And, I have worked so hard on it because, again, I know how much it consumes my time, my energy, how much it can affect my relationships. So for me, again, just being aware, starting to talk about it. This was when I was in, my 20s, 30s. And really kind of trusting that I can talk about it with my clients, right? And that actually got me more clients because people said, wow, she gets it.
Yeah.
So I think for me, and I still suffer from certain days, and my boyfriend can attest to this, where I'm like, oh my God, I don't like how I look, and my
Yeah.
pants are too tight, and he'll say, oh baby, you're so beautiful, and he's so wonderful. He believes that, he knows it, but it's also so hard for any of us that have suffered from body dysmorphia because you can't explain it. It has nothing to do with anybody else and how they look at you. It's how you feel about yourself. And as I said, I believe it's manifested from, again, shame, guilt, all of that stuff. So I think the answer to your question is just opening the conversation,
Yeah.
right? And getting them to even be aware of what's going on. And it's so hard for me because, again, you know, my heart breaks for all my clients that suffer, and it's suffering, you know, and I see it, and they cry, and, you know, it's just like, it breaks my heart.
And this is honestly right now, this is such an emotional conversation
Yeah.
for me. I'm like completely filled up to my
Yeah.
eyeballs.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like it hits home for
Yeah.
me. And
Well,
I just text. Sorry, Terry.
No, go ahead.
I texted this week because she was like, "You look great. You know, you're changing. This is really happening to you." I cannot totally see it, and I said, "You know, this morning when I was at the gym and I looked in the mirror, this is what I saw, and it wasn't pretty." And Deb obviously very gently responded in a text with, "You know, mirrors are tricky for women
Yeah.
and men.
Yeah.
Hey, dysmorphia."
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's
Anybody.
right.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, absolutely.
And, you know, so I just, again, I'm trusting the process. So, you know, yeah, Terry.
Well, I think the reason we started this podcast, and this is our year anniversary right now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel so honored.
Yeah.